Hey y'all, so I'm sitting here, I'm eating my lunch. I say lunch because it's the simple way to explain it, but I have my fruits, my salad, I do intermittent fasting, so I try to eat at least 1 to 2 meals a day. I just got home not too long ago, had class earlier and therapy, which was so amazing. Yet I wanted to get on here and really talk about this feeling that I've been feeling. I don't know what it is. There's sometimes where it's like I'm sensing something. And it's not necessarily an emotion. It's not a feeling. It's like some form of shift, some form of knowing, some form of peace. I guess that's the label we could use for now. And I've been feeling it all day today. Like, even when I woke up, it was kind of weird. It's like this eerie, weird feeling. And it's funny because today's the 13th. And 13, to me, you know, it's one of my, I consider it one of my numbers that I gravitate towards a lot. It's for, you know, spiritually speaking, it's about death, rebirth, 3 and 1. Those numbers I'm always seeing with 111, 333. It's a very potent, intuitive, intense message. I'm also a master number 11. So I resonate with that number very highly, and especially today. I know there's been a lot of shifts. Like, I did like a whole Sunday reset yesterday for myself, which was really nice. I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning, decluttering, but there's something about today. And, you know, it's just being outside. Like, initially I was going to go work out after class. And I had this sense, I had this feeling to not go work out. And I got just like overwhelmed and super tired. And it was like almost something was off, right? It was like I was like shifting into this, like, okay, I'm gonna just like force myself to go to the gym. And when I go to the gym, I don't do a lot. I swim, I do my sauna, my steam room. I'm not able to work out in a way like I used to, due to my physical issues that I have within my knees and my back and stuff. But I do what I can. And for me, it's really just about being consistent, you know, going and rejuvenating myself, because it's also therapy for me. And so initially that's why I go. I don't go because, oh my gosh, I have to go. I have to, you know, get in a good workout. That used to be me. But now I go because it feels good. It feels great. You know, it's one of those things where it's just like, I love going. Especially when I can be in water, immerse myself in water. I'm a Cancer rising baby, Pisces midheaven. So it's one of those things where I was just like, I wanted to go, but there was also a deeper feeling underneath that. Mind you, I have layers to myself. I have a lot of depth to myself, and sometimes I don't understand it, especially in the moment. It's like I know there's something happening. Like, it smells like it's supposed to rain. You know, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I know there's been a lot of shifts within the seasons. And maybe it's something, you know, astrologically. I don't really study the planets too deeply, so I don't know exactly. I usually go based off of my intuition, and like research it. And sometimes that aligns to where it's like I have a knowing that something's happening energetically, but I don't know exactly what it is logically, right? And so those connect in a way where it's like, I know I'm already aligned, but at the same time, it may not make general sense to everybody else. And for me, it's interesting because I go to a Catholic university, and one of the classes that I had today was Christian Experience 1. Now, mind you, I consider myself spiritual. I don't consider myself, like, I don't hold on to labels in general. And what I mean by that is, like, being Christian, everybody defines Christian in their own way, in a sense, right? You can claim to be Christian, in so many different ways. And that's what I've learned within my own spiritual journey. So I don't claim to be Christian, I don't claim to be Catholic, but I love the education that I received from this school. I love attending this school, and it's helped strengthen my own beliefs and my own faith, and just learn so much more within the wisdom of the professors. And so my professor today was going into the background of Christian experience on truth, beauty, and making an impact. And it's really cool because it connects to a lot of philosophy within Aristotle, within Plato, and who else? A bunch of different philosophers, and just connects to Homer, the Odyssey, a lot of this like stuff that connects within modern today on why we exist, who we are, and kind of the point of being, right? And that's the basis of this university, is teaching all these different life experiences, studies, in general. And that's something that I really enjoy. But going back to that class, I was able to speak on some of my own beliefs within, the chakra system, the 5D system. And it's interesting because for me, within this class, but within today and just in general, I feel as if there's something shifting within everyone, I want to say. But I know for me, myself, heavily. And it's not necessarily about me, all about me. It's more so my eternal clock and my understanding of why certain things are. What is the purpose to life in general, and why am I sitting here recording this video, speaking on this, but initially why I feel what I feel, or why I have this knowing within myself that there's something that I can't always explain within words, within labels, within logic. I think it's very important to learn all these things, to study, to grow, to acknowledge that we don't know, and really to interconnect on these teachings, right? And not try to force people to necessarily agree or disagree, to believe, to have faith, to see my perspective in it. Yet it's more so just to experience it all. And the sun is shining in my window right now. It's super cool. But really just to, acknowledge that there's so much information out there, right? Acknowledge that there's so much information that we can take and we can learn from it. We can discover something different. We can know certain things and be guided by that knowing without logic. I think logic is very important. I may not always understand it at a level of teaching, but I think there's a lot of studying involved within, whoever's teaching it, but also the information that I'm receiving. Because there's so many teachers out there, I could be considered a teacher, but it's really who resonates with what I'm saying, what I'm speaking, what I'm teaching. Because maybe not everybody's a teacher, maybe not everybody gets paid to teach, but I think teaching overall is just learning from experience, learning from somebody else's experience, learning from the information provided for us. And it's what we do with it that helps us gain that information, gain that, knowledge, and utilize it, digest it in a way that works for us, right? And that's the beauty of, college, universities too as well, because for so long I would tell myself, is it even worth going to this school? Because initially I do feel college is a scam at times. It's like they're taking so much money, making us pay so much money to learn so much information that we could just learn on the internet, right? And a lot of this information you can learn on the internet, but at the same time, there's a whole different experience and strategy within the system of a college, of a university. It's all about time management. It's all about actually being disciplined within the work you put in. It's not necessarily about what you learn, it's how you structure your life and how you feel about it. And you never know what kind of gem or hidden gem that you may receive within this classroom. And then it's about community and connecting and so much more, right? There's so many layers to it, where it's like, for the longest time, like even growing up, I remember I never wanted to go to college. Like, what was the point of a degree? And initially there may not be a point. It just may be the experience you get out of it. There's a lot of people I've heard where they meet their spouse, they meet their, best friend, they meet certain people within this dynamic of a university, within the class, even if they didn't, may not fulfill the whole structure of it. You've learned something. You've learned what you like. You've learned what you didn't like. And it led you into another pathway. Like, literally, one of my classes is story genres and pretty much storytelling. So you're learning how to tell a story. And one of my assignments is to use I think it's the title of I have the title in a different way, so that's why I'm struggling to remember what it is. But it's initially, someone goes for milk. A guy goes to get milk, right? And so you're using your own twist, your own unique storytelling within a certain structure dynamic. And I have a story that I wrote called A Lonely Child Goes for Hope. And a lot of my stories, a lot of what I speak on in general, within my music, within my platform, within just my content, is to help you, inspire you to become a better version of yourself. It's really finding hope within yourself, within, certain things that you enjoy, certain things that you love and you find, make you want to continue to be better, continue to grow, to continue to evolve and search for truths that resonate with you. Because that's like going back to my Christian Experience 1 class. We speak on a lot of what is truth, what is the point, and what are these, philosophers, these scientists, all these individuals telling us, right? And it's so amazing to think about, because we can take so much from history, so much that's been hidden from us, so much that's been given to us, and really learn something from it, even biblically, right? With the Bible. Like I said, I'm not religious or, attach myself to a certain religious label or belief. I more so enjoy learning about it, learning why they believe, right? And not so much wanting to challenge someone in their belief in a way to be like, that's not true, but really challenge them to really understand why they believe what they believe, why they want to believe in what they believe. And I know this kind of like went in many different ways, because initially I wanted just to record this video about this feeling that I had of today and the shift that I've been feeling. And I don't necessarily understand it logically, but I think within this whole message, there's definitely something changing within not only myself, but within the world, within nature, within the system. And it's allowing me to see so many deeper truths within, not only within myself, but within my journey, and kind of just contemplate and look back at my life and be like, wow, it's crazy how our beliefs can change. It's crazy how this knowing that we may not logically understand can lead us to something we would have really never imagined in a sense of logic. Because I look at my, I look at my past, I look at the things that I've experienced, been through, and how I initially got to this school, and it's like, I didn't plan to go to college. I never believed in, I thought it was a scam. I didn't really like it, but now here I am, a year into this college, going for a double major. So that just means I'm going, for 2 bachelor's degree instead of 1. And just trying to gain all the knowledge I possibly can, because I knew initially I wanted to go to this college. I didn't want to go to any other college. I didn't know exactly why I didn't want to go to any other college. I think when being explained the process of how the college worked and just the classics, it's like something I just knew, right? And there was certain people that, told me, go to a community college, don't go to that, that's too expensive, yada, yada, yada. So it's funny, it's funny enough to, know that I'm grateful that I didn't listen to those people and just be like, okay, yeah, you're right. I really felt strongly. I even cried about it. I was very emotional about it, to the point where I was like, no, this is the school. I know I need to go to this school. I don't know exactly why, because mind you, again, I'm not Catholic, and that's why I say this, because it's like there was something calling me to this school, and I knew it even a year before I started. And it's not to hype this college up, because there's flaws, there's so many things where I even question when, a month's in, and do I even want to stay? But sometimes you gotta push through that, that darkness, I guess, or that feeling of, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Because initially, I think as human beings, we go through so much, or we can go through so much to the point where it's like we question ourselves, we question our inner intuition. I know me personally, I've had to learn, and I still learn how to really truly listen to what my intuition is telling me and where I'm being guided. Because initially, I do believe in God, and that's the one thing I think I have in common, with people of faith, of people that do believe in God, is there's something beyond us, right? That is not only helping us and giving us signs and synchronicities, but showing us a way that we would have never found just by ourselves. And that's the beauty of it, is connecting and just having this knowing within myself that, and given this guidance. And even though I have to fight through some of these turmoils and, structures to get to where I need to go, it eventually gets to the point where it starts to get easier and it starts to make sense. And you're just like, oh, now I can trust myself more. Now I can trust the guidance more. Now I see why this was taking me in this direction and not that direction. Because no matter what direction you go in, I do truly believe that we are led in a direction that we're meant to be, no matter the outcome. So it's very interesting to just sit here and not only reflect on it, but to have this knowing that there's something more. This is not the final say. There's something deeper within today, within the number 13, within what I'm learning, within just these classes, and everything else. Because initially, I don't know. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Is it's okay to not know. It's okay to not understand the knowing or the feeling that I have, but knowing it's something. It's some type of form, but not really form. It's crazy when you know so much and you have so much knowledge. It's hard to articulate. For me, it's hard to articulate things in a way that others would make sense of. So I hope strongly that you can make sense of this message, and whether or not feel guided or inspired by it to, you know, better yourself. Have this trust within yourself that there's something beyond us, whether you want to call it God, the universe, and just be open-minded to the endless possibilities that everything isn't as it seems, and there's so much more than information that's, you know, been provided for us by our ancestors, by history, because they were always figuring it out too, and they got to a certain point, but it kept going. So there's something there, right? There's something there that is shedding, that is allowing us to see something deeper within ourselves. And I don't want to make this video too much longer. So with that, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Faefae. I'm that ancient artist. I'm a music artist. I'm just an individual that's very spiritually in tune, tapped in to something beyond all of us. And it has allowed me to only create a life for myself that I never really imagined or thought was possible, but I knew within my soul that I just needed to keep fighting. You know, I've been through some things. I've been through a lot of darkness. I've come out of a lot of darkness, and I record videos to inspire others to share that, you know, life isn't always what it seems, but there's always hope. There's always hope for a better horizon, and I've experienced that journey, and I continue to. And so with that, you know, if you feel called to like, comment, share, subscribe, please do so. Usually I put my information into the description, but a lot of things are shifting for me and changing for me. You can check out my other videos. You can just, you know, see my journey, and how I've just evolved within my mind, my body, and my soul. And I'm super grateful to just be able to have this platform to express myself in a way that may help others. So with that, y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. Ashe, namaste, amen.